Recording. Awesome, guys. Hope you guys all are having an awesome week so far. It's Tuesday, terrific Tuesday, I call it. A lot of you may or may not know who I am. So to start off, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about who I am. My wife, Lisa, and I, you can see a picture of her eating ice cream up there. I was going to change that, and I told her I decided not to because I just like the way it looks. And one of the things that the Bible says that when a man finds a wife, finds a good wife, finds a good thing, and finds favor with God. And I just happen to have married one of the most amazing people in the world. See a picture of my family there. I am this new picture that you see on the right-hand side just came out yesterday. It's our new branding of our website. I'm the founder and CEO. Most of you guys know that I've been in the fitness and nutrition industry in the brick and mortar side of it for 25 years. I am now online coaching. I help men walk in and towards their purpose in health, relationships, and business. I created multiple six-figure incomes inside the brick and mortar side of health, wellness, and nutrition. I've also became a Elite Pro 7 in Lifevantage. I went to Ohio State for Randy, who's on tonight, OH. And you see a picture of me down there at the bottom when I ran track at Ohio State too and was a 4-year varsity letterman track and field. Out of 43 kids that came in my freshman year, only 4 of us graduated and lettered all 4 years. And I take a lot of pride in being a Buckeye and the things that I learned and the influence that those 4.5, almost 5 years have allowed me to become a great trainer, a great coach, and be able to influence a lot of people. I was an educator for the American Council of Exercise for many years. I resigned from doing that a couple years ago to be able to have more of an influence on the online part of coaching and nutrition. And so I put this last picture down here. It's a picture of some supplements. And the reason I put that on there is because that used to be about the amount of supplements that I took every day. And I believe the information that you're hearing about tonight is very groundbreaking. And so what I'm going to give you guys kind of an example of what I think the reason this is so groundbreaking. And I came up with some other pieces of information on this slide, but I want to really hone in on where were you September 4th of 1998. I think a lot of times, like my wife was born on 9/11. Okay, how many of you can remember where you were when 9/11 happened? When the planes hit the towers? I was actually at the gym. I remember the people that were there, the conversations that I had. And I actually remember back in September of 1998 when Google launched. And I asked several of my friends, like, what did we use before we had Google? I said American Online because that's all I knew at the time, AOL. My friend said Yahoo. Another one of my friends said the library. And another piece that I need to put on here, one of my other friends said the encyclopedia, which is kind of funny because it starts to show our age. But if those of you who follow me on Facebook, because of the information that you're hearing about tonight, I believe that 50 is the new 30. And I just spoke at the Doctor of Nutrition, Council of Nutrition conference. We did an education booth over at this big conference for 4 days. And it's, guys, the information that you're hearing about tonight, we were not in competition with any of the nutrition companies that were in that room. They were all based on old technology, and not that old technology is bad, but most of you know that nobody is using American Online, Yahoo, and the library much anymore. Like, I know the library that I went to now back in my hometown is a very small, now historical library. And last 5 times I was home, there was no cars there. So that's what's significant about the information you're hearing about tonight. And I hope that when either you're a guest or you're a new distributor or you're a new customer and you just want to see the big picture, I hope by the time I'm done in a very short period of time that you guys will be able to understand that. And just think, just look at what Google and Apple have done. I love the story of Apple. And why do I love the story of Apple? Steve Jobs was fired back and forth several times from his company. And now it goes back between him and Google as the top branded companies in all of the world. So I love that. And you guys can see that they do kind of go back and forth with that. So I love it that now Google is a 100. This was actually 2017. They were a $1.9 billion company. Okay. Now, I'm not going to show the video tonight. I would tell you that if you're a guest, you must watch this video. There's many different versions out there. I will tell you the reason I like this version is because it's only 9 minutes long. It's very brief. It condenses a 30-minute ABC News report into about 4 minutes. And then what you hear in that ABC News report, it validates everything that they say that they thought could happen. Like even at the end of it, one of the doctors says, I don't want to wait until I'm 80 and wish I would have taken it. Had he not chosen that, he would have been saying that now, because everything about the science and the patents and everything that they thought might happen and the actual validation of what happened to John Quinones in just 2 weeks, you guys are going to see that. I'll just share this with you before we move on. I contacted a professor of mine that was involved in one of those studies back in 2009. And this is what he told me. He said, Mike, hopefully you'll take this and take it the rest of your life, and all of your family would take it. He said, as long as I've been doing research for 30 years, we've never found research like this on a natural product. And it's the greatest thing that we've researched since penicillin. And so you guys know what that did. And this guy has written numerous peer-reviewed articles and studied in books and journals and taught at Ohio State for over 30 years, retiring about 4 years ago. So if you have a chance to watch that, get the opportunity to watch that. And so this term biohacking, I love both of these perspectives. Okay, the art of hacking your biology, using nature's built-in mechanism to stack the cards in your favor and become the best version of yourself, maximizing your biological potential. I love that. And then I love this too. The other perspective is biohacking is that you can hack your own biology and you can gain control of systems in your body that you would have never have had access. And I love that. My dad says you don't have to struggle with the things that we struggle with. And this is really getting back to, teaching the body to heal itself through naturally occurring substances. Not supplementing the body, which we're going to talk more about, but activating the body. And so most everybody that you know, 95 to 97% of people struggle with these things: inflammation and oxidative stress, low energy, and bloating. All right? Nutrigenomics, I believe, is the solution. And I love this. It's time to start hacking your health. I love that. And so what is oxidative stress? Oxidative stress is at the very center of every disease. And if you don't believe me, you can see this. This was done with freeradical.com, I believe, or oxidativestress.com, one of the two, or .org. And it shows you that it's with using the body and body part systems, it's at the very center of almost every single disease: rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, Alzheimer's, chronic fatigue, inflammation, macular degeneration. We have eye surgeons that give this product to hundreds and hundreds of their patients. And we obviously can't say that we treat or prevent or cure or mitigate disease, but just for a MD to give their patients natural products is a massive breakthrough in itself. Because I've been in the industry, the coaching industry, for 25 years, and that's never happened. So, and you can see how we cause oxidative stress by our cell phone, by the microwave, by the water that we drink, by the exercise that we do. It's just like when you lay this apple out and it turns brown. That's what oxidative stress is. And why should you care? That's why you should care, because it's at the very center of every disease. And you know what's really great? When you watch that ABC News report, they talk about studies that are going to be started, and these are the studies. Johns Hopkins, Ohio State, the American Heart Association, University of Kentucky, Colorado, Harvard did a study on the Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. The list goes on and on and on. The National Institute of Aging did a natural study proving that not only did our product extend life, but delayed disease. And we didn't pay for these studies. They were independent studies done by these universities and the National Institute of Health. So I always say this, you can believe what you want when it comes to your health, but in my 25 plus years of treating doctors and lawyers and athletes, I have never went to Google to do any research whatsoever. I've always used Google Scholar now and PubMed.gov. It's where you can go and find, guys, I was at that conference that I told you about this weekend, and 90% of the people asked me, how did you guys patent an herbal formula? I said, not only do we patent it once, we patented it 7 times in the US, okay? And that's a massive thing. When you go to PubMed, just type in Protandim. Take any product that you take right now and type it into PubMed, which is the National Library of Medicine. It's where every doctor and pharmacist and everybody does their research, and just look at the studies, okay? They're on our website also at lifevantage.com. We just had another new study come out that I found out about in my back office for Lifevantage, and now we're up to 26 published studies. I love that. So what's a solution for reducing oxidative stress? We always used to think that it was supplements. And you'll see that when you listen to Dr. McCord in that ABC News clip. He began to talk about how we used to think that supplements would take care of the issues caused by oxidative stress, right? But here's what we found out, okay? We found out that it wasn't good enough, that it eliminated on a ratio of 1 to 1. And when you have 300 septillion, that's 300 with 22 or 23 zeros after it, doing a 1 to 1 ratio doesn't work. So Protandim NRF2 activates this NRF2 pathway that turns on our body's own antioxidants to eliminate up to 1 million free radicals every hour, every second, every day, okay? Turning back on our body's catalase and glutathione and SOD to work like it did when we were younger, and you'll see that in that video. At the end of the video, they show that the difference in the oxidative stress levels of an 80-year-old and a 20-year-old, you couldn't tell the difference after 30 days. And look, I never took our Protandim Nerve 2 to feel anything. My wife is a nurse. We looked at each other and said, we're going to take it the rest of our life because of several reasons. It reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days, which we'll talk more about. And that's at the very center of every disease. And it slows down cellular aging. And it does stuff that nothing on the market does. And for that reason, we looked at each other and said, we're taking it the rest of our life. And so I love this. This was another big reason. NRF2 may become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in history. And just look at this. This was a study done, and this was done by Dr. Van Horsen in the Netherlands. He was paid by the drug company to research Protandim versus Tecfidera, which its street name is BG12, and compare it against Protandim. Now, Tecfidera did over $3 billion last year. It costs about $4,500 a month, over $50,000 a year. Protandim costs $40 a month. And you guys can read what it says. It says, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. This study went on to talk about colon cancer and atherosclerosis and Alzheimer's, which the study completely blew my mind. So that's why I said, and you guys saw it. Here's the recap. NSF certified, BSC certified, BSCG certified, National Institute of Aging, only natural product in history proven to extend life and delay disease. We didn't say that. The National Institute of Aging did. Regulates our body's survival genes. Doesn't go in and have one function like supplements does. It goes in and activates the body's own survival genes. Guys, that hopefully you guys can grasp the big picture of that. So I love what this says. My friend Dr. Bremhall put this on here. Protandim NRF2 is the solution to slow down cellular aging. You would take this the rest of your life, even if you didn't feel something. I know I will. Okay, so let's talk about our second thing that we talked about, our energy levels and our mitochondria. Mitochondria converts food into cellular energy through ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So why would we care about that? Just look at the diseases that are affected by dysfunction to our mitochondria. Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, epilepsy, Lou Gehrig's, autism, cancer, you name it, okay? And then we created our NRF1 product. Same thing, another biohacking product that we're using to solve a problem, which is great. Protandim helps, Nerve1 helps to restore youth to your body, creating new mitochondria and repairing broken down mitochondria. Boost mitochondria production, slowing down aging by supporting chromosome integrity. I love that. And then where I believe most of our issues start at is in our gut. And, you know, I love this because most people think that you have to have a refrigerator or you have to have, you know, billions and billions of CFUs. The biggest picture about this is that you don't have to have those things. You have to have a system inside your body that gets these spores, and hope you can understand that it needs to be spores. And we could talk more about that at another time, but I want you to understand the magnitude of this. 99% of probiotics in the market get about 4% of the spores through the small and large intestines, which is why we get leaky gut syndrome. Effects of why people, you know, have irritable bowel syndrome and they eat food and they go to the bathroom online, whatever it may be. You know, colon problems, adrenal fatigue, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, acne, depression, anxiety. We can control that by getting the gut functioning. And it's really funny. I took a gut biome test to test my gut, and I rated in the top 7% of all people in the world. So I really love that. That's a significant thing when you're thinking about which product to take when it comes to your gut. So, and then what I think is another big thing that we have, and I've been taking omegas all my life. I love this because it's not only got omega-3 support and omega-7s, but it has vitamin D3 and it's traceable. It's really funny. Everybody at the conference this past weekend told me that their omegas smell. Ours don't. You can eat them. We had a bunch of people try it, which was funny, and it was fine. Supports brain, heart, and immune function. We signed up a ton of people because most of the bottles you open, they smell like fish. Ours doesn't. I love that. So NRF2 activation of the skin. You can see this. Dr. Natalie Chevreau, who is one of the top skincare people in the world, created Strivectin, which was the #1 selling anti-wrinkle skin cream by Klein Becker many years ago. Took Protandim and made it for your skin. It's massively different. I use it every single day. It's patented, guys. The 4 products that you see there are patented, not the ingredients. Just ask anybody. You know, there's no placebo effect in what you see up front. It's what you get long term. So something that you use longer that gets you better results is better for you. That's how you get patents, making it safe and making it effective. Okay, and improves the appearance of the skin and aging your skin. I say this all the time. My wife is always able to tell when I don't use the product. And then I love this. I have been working with young people all the time. Dr. Huey, no relation, Dr. John Huey, has been doing this with a lot of patients in his office. So is Dr. Brett Bremhall. guys, people, the kids that can't write, kids that have ADD, ADHD, autism, they're able to take our products, they're able to write, they're able to write clearly and legibly, and they're able to spell correctly. This here is only 1 week after taking Protandim and Axio. I have Axio decaf right now behind me that I'm drinking right now. I make it with tea at nighttime. And then this is my friend Tommy. He's kept this, it's funny, he's kept this off for a year. I was just in contact with him, and he says, Mike, I look and feel great because I just changed some things and I made it a lifestyle. I didn't make it a quick fix. And we just had another lifestyle transformation. I had a friend of mine, my friend Greg Short, lost 60 pounds. Another friend of mine, Dave Fropel, lost a lot of weight. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but there was just a lot of people that lost a lot of fat and didn't gain and didn't lose muscle, which is important. So this is a lifestyle. I call it a lifestyle management. And it's really cool. One of my dearest, closest friends now, my friend Ben Davidson, is one of the top dog trainers. He's really funny. He started just ranting and raving about how awesome Pet Tandem was and for little dogs, and how regular Pro Tandem was better for big dogs. And then he started saying, oh, I can't believe how it works for me and works for my dogs. It's a double whammy. So I love it that we took this formulation and made it into a formulation for pets. And so let's finish up just this last 7 minutes or so, and let's talk a little bit about the opportunity. This is why I bring up Google. Just imagine if you could have invested in Apple or Google or Microsoft way back in the beginning. Guys, look, I've waited for opportunity to be involved in something like this all my career. To be able to have groundbreaking information, and yes, you can hear about it from your neighbor and me and others, because the big thing about this, if you're going to start a business and create residual income and influence people to where the point that their life has changed physically, financially, I think one of the best things about this business has been personal development and the relationships that I've been able to build, and how I've been able to retire my wife. My wife is down to her last 9 shifts of work. And so after 28 years as a nurse, May the 2nd, I believe, or 3rd, she'll be no longer working, and we'll be going to California to spend time at one of our masterminds. So all I can tell you is that if you're going to start a business, I would tell you to start with a platinum pack, just because you will be able to get all the products, enough product that you need to use for yourself and your family, and you'll be able to tell people about the products. And I tell people all the time, you'll get a return on your investment in the first 30 days if you do what we tell you to do and you expose it to people. So, and what's really cool is look, I have to have an overhead to run my business. My wife and I invest tons and tons of money into personal development, you guys can see I've got whiteboards galore. There's a new one right there, several other ones that we're putting up, and we got new lighting here that's pretty cool, and new chairs and new desks and stuff. And what's really cool is that you have to have some type of overhead to run a business. Ours is $5 a day. If you want to do more, you can do more, but you can run a business for $5 a day. Nowhere in the world can I create a 6-figure a year business with a $5 a day overhead. Never happens. Okay. So you should know a little bit about that. And when it comes to commissions, I don't know any salespeople that get 40% of the commissions that they sell, whether it's a customer or a distributor. You're signing people up. I know this. Randy's picture's right there beside me, so I'm looking at Randy. So if I tell Randy's a big Buckeye fan. If I tell Randy about this really cool signed Archie Griffin football that I have right here, and I tell him that they're selling them on Amazon, and he goes there and buys one, Amazon doesn't send me a check. If Randy tells 2 more of his friends and they go there, they don't send Randy a check and me a check. When I tell people about this, who tell people about this, who tell people, we all get paid, we all make money, and we all get to influence people and give them their lives back. And whether it's just people that just take the product, I can tell you this. I have people that have been on the product for 7 years. Never before had I had that in anything that I had given, because I told you, And when you're thinking about supplements, it's a guessing game. When you're thinking about nutrigenomics and biohacking, it works 100% of the time on 100% of the people. The longer you take it, the better the results you get. And so think about this. I said this to one of my real estate friends. Where can you get residual income at 5% for the rest of your life as long as you take the products every single day? Nowhere. If one of my people doesn't pay me, I don't get paid. Right? If they don't show up and say, Mike, I'm going to hire you and we're going to work every single day together. When I was in the gym business, if a person didn't come, I didn't get paid. Now I get paid when I sleep, and I love it. Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money when you sleep, you work till you die. And I think this is probably as I finish up, this is the best bonus that there is. If I sign up Randy, Randy signs up Dave, Dave signs up Tim, who signs up Steve, who signs up Bob. I get 10% off of Randy's check, 5% off of Dave's check, and so on and so on. And that's every single person that Randy enrolls. I get that same thing. And every person that I enroll, I get 10% and then 5% down. That's a massive, massive way of thinking about bonuses. And then you guys can see the monthly averages. There's my quote from Warren Buffett. My wife and I are Elite Pro 7s. You can see we're a publicly traded company. I love that. There's no hiding things. Everything is very transparent. And then I found this, and it's powerful. It's called the innovation adoption curve. And it's a percentage of people that get involved in during opportunities. And I know that we're getting closer and closer to this momentum when doctors, prominent doctors and prominent nutritionists and coaches are joining this business. And like my friend Brett Brimhall, who was in numerous direct sales nutrition ones, and they all went away. And he said, what I like about this is never going away. It's got patents for 25 years and renewable for 25 more years. He just sold his medical practice and is going full-time in Lifevantage. I love that. And this shows you early innovators and early adopters. And you see where we are. We're getting close to going into momentum, which is the early majority and the late majority, where I believe that pattern goes through, where 80% of the money's made. And then, at the end, you get the laggards who make about, 5 to 16%. So think about that. And I love what J. Paul Getty said. I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. That is amazing. Now, as we close, this last minute or so, I love this. I saw this on the Today Show, and they've now ran this story twice. And here's what's really cool at this, over 150 doctors at this event I was at this last weekend. There was like 3 of them that knew about nutrigenomics. These are doctors of nutrition and chiropractic. Some of them are medical doctors. They don't know about nutrigenomics. And look at this. Today's show said it's going to be a $600 billion industry. So all these people talking about supplements are slowly going to surely change or get left behind on being able to help people become the best version of themselves. And you can see it. All we're doing is, instead of supplementing our body, we're taking these naturally occurring compounds and we're teaching them how to activate what's already inside of us. But because we age, it no longer works. We don't have to guess. It's like this little boy watching all these people surf, right? We get to be first. It is like we were the first person to tell somebody about Google back in 1999. So what I want you guys to think about, whether you're a distributor or you're a customer, or you're just here checking it out, right? Somebody's invited you and you really just want to be able to understand the big picture. I hope that tonight some of this is driven home. I hope that you guys have been blessed. I will just tell you this. The reason I do these, and you can see my day-to-day, you can tell the difference in my wife's writing and my writing. I'm sorry that that's like that. But I love it because I get more excited by this. And I watched one of my doctor friends that I was with this weekend. He's where I used to be, but because I keep pressing on, he got discouraged just because people just don't get it. They don't get new technology. You know, I said, John, look, my dad had a flip phone just until recently, right? Like some people are late to the party. You can't allow yourself to get discouraged just because people don't understand it, right? So when people don't understand it, all you got to do is just love them where they are and keep educating. And, you know, I see Richard is on there. Richard and I have been friends for a long time. And I've said this to Richard over and over. You know, some people are going to understand it now. Many people are going to understand it later. Guess what? We just get to be the ones to benefit from understanding now. And, you know, I shared this today with a friend of mine, is that the reason we lack wisdom is because we don't ask for it, right? And you guys are smart enough to be on a webinar like this to educate yourself. So all I encourage you to do is get back with the person that invited you, or if you're a new person, I will share these slides with you. I will share this recording with you. Learn how to get this stuff on your phone so when you're talking to somebody, you can get them to the next step. And just grow, learn. They always say the fortune's in the follow-up. You know, it took me took the person that shared this with me 5.5 months to get me just to sit down. And little did I know it would drastically change my life. So never give up on people. My father is now listening to me after 25 years of not listening to me. And Richard's laughing because he knows. And he's off of all his medications. He's thriving. He's 78 years old and just had a heart cath a couple weeks ago. And the doctor said, I don't know what to tell you, but there's nothing wrong with you. You're free to get up out of the bed and go home, right? So hopefully that's encouraged you guys today. I'm going to stop the recording